We'll move forward with our next presentation. That is from the Sunitha Project Research Team, Arati Podal and Adipti Panta, on palliative care needs in rural Nepal, exploratory mixed method survey. I will be giving a 5-minute warning so that we keep it to time. Thank you very much.
Again, good afternoon, everyone. Over next couple of sessions, my team and I will be presenting some of the work we have done in recent years. As a foundational piece of research, Sunitha Project carried out palliative care need assessment in rural Nepal, titled as Palliative Care Needs of People in Selected Rural District of Nepal and Their Health-Seeking Behavior. So let's begin by understanding why it's important to study palliative care needs in these areas. Nepal is a country where more than 80% of population reside in rural areas. However, palliative care services are predominantly centered in urban regions. Studies suggest around 3 to 4% of people in rural area require palliative care, yet access remains limited. The National Palliative Care Strategy 2017 emphasizes the need to expand services close to home, including rural communities, particularly through district hospital, health post, and female community health volunteers. To develop a feasible evidence-based rural model, we must first understand the level of need, health-seeking behaviors, and current caregiving practices in these areas. For this, we had formulated 3 key research questions as what proportion of people in rural Nepal are in need of palliative care because they suffer from advanced chronic illness, severe disability, or are old and frail? What are the common health-seeking behaviors amongst this group? How do people in rural Nepal who are living with advanced chronic illness or old and frail receive care and support? This map shows our study area, which represent diverse geographical and healthcare access conditions to ensure a comprehensive understanding of palliative care needs in rural Nepal. Our study looked at people in 18 communities drawn from 4 municipalities, Besi Sahar, Sundarbazar, Rainas, and Chauzari, in 2 of the western districts of Nepal. Our study incorporated a mixed method study design, combining quantitative research through a cross-sectional descriptive survey for which we went door to door to 18 communities seeking to identify people with palliative care needs through means of general indicators in SPEED ALIAS tool. Qualitative research was done using comparative case study approach, which will be described in a few minutes. Combination of this helped us capture both statistical prevalence as well as lived experiences. Structured questionnaire to access demographics, diagnosis, health-seeking behavior, Nepali Palliative Care Outcome Scale for symptoms and quality of life, caregiver burden scale and end of life for caregiver burden, and were analyzed using MS Excel, and also have used semi-structured in-depth interview guidelines for our qualitative in-depth interviews. And here are some of the photos which give you an insight into the experience of data collection in rural Nepal. Now, going to the results. In 18 communities, we have been to 587 houses, which covered around 2,320 people. Female population was highly higher than male. Within this population, we found 58 people with palliative care needs, giving prevalence of 2.5%. Further, there was a significant difference in palliative care needs among these municipalities. This slide shows the characteristic of the people identified as of having palliative care needs. 88% were aged 60 or above, with a median age of 79. There was equal representation of male and females, and most were engaged in agriculture with no formal educational attainment. It was quite difficult to record the formal diagnosis of people with palliative care need, as it was mostly self-reported, and we didn't had a consistent access to their clinical records. 32 out of 58 self-declared condition consistent with advanced chronic illness where palliative care needs are to be expected. These had cardiovascular disease, COPD, cancer, or with some overlap among them. Going back to the full group of 58, people identified as of having palliative care needs when we are seeking into the health-seeking behavior of people with any form of chronic illnesses, we found 44 had over just half of those 44, over half had cardiovascular problem, a fifth had cancer, and smaller number had diabetes. The group of cardiovascular disease did include someone with hypertension only. Of 14 people without formal diagnosis, 12 of these were old and frail, and all of these were above median age, which was 79. Now, here we have a question. Are our older people less likely to have a formal diagnosis? To investigate this, we split the 58 people with palliative care needs into 3 age groups. Statistical testing shows that those people over 75 years are more likely to have no diagnosis when compared to those of 75 or below. Using ANPOS, we then assessed the physical, psychosocial, and spiritual needs of full group of 58 people with palliative care need. The most common physical complaints were found to be difficulty walking, weakness, pain. All the people with COPD had difficulty in breathing. Turning to psychosocial and spiritual suffering, 93% of patients with palliative care needs reported at least one of the psychosocial and spiritual need. That could be worrying about health, having lack of peace, feeling life is not worthwhile, and not being able to discuss illness with their families. All of these concerns show high burden of physical, psychosocial, and spiritual suffering in our group of 54. This highlights the urgent need of holistic palliative care approaches in these areas. For those people with palliative care needs who did have a formal diagnosis, we are keen to determine where that diagnosis had been made, what is their health-seeking behaviors. Over half of the people with palliative care need had gone to the tertiary hospital, which would have necessitated a long journey from their homes. Smaller proportion of people with palliative care needs were diagnosed in nearby community hospitals or in private pharmacies. It is of note that of 6 patients with cancer, 5 had been diagnosed in tertiary center. On accessing the health-seeking behavior of those diagnosed, of 44 people with palliative care needs with any chronic illness condition, just over the half were having any form of follow-up, and those, the majority were not having regular follow-up. Tertiary hospital were a frequent location of follow-up, but when it did happen, it is to be noted that only 20% of people are going for follow-up in community hospital. In Nepal, we have government national health insurance scheme, and 71% of these people with palliative care needs had joined that scheme. We found, however, that even among insured individuals, about a third still avoided seeking healthcare because of cost. The figure was approximately double amongst those without health insurance. This demonstrates the need for more accessible or affordable palliative care services. Yeah. Now, as we all In palliative care, we take people with palliative care need and family as a unit. Unit, we have interviewed the health, about their health with their caregivers also, and this is the verbatim given by their caregiver. And to light said on the caregiver burden, I'd like to call upon Adipti. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. For my presentation, I'll be talking about the burden that caregiver experience while looking after people with palliative care need. Our group have studied this with a cross-sectional mixed method study. So from previous international research, we know that caregiver can experience significant burden when caring for people with palliative care needs. In rural areas, healthcare access is very limited, so we might imagine the situation is worse. For that, we want to understand the burden in rural Nepal in order to develop appropriate palliative care services. And this is the first study that specifically have explored caregiver burden and support received while providing care to the people with palliative care need in rural Nepal. 52 primary caregivers were included in our study for house-to-house survey. For quantitative survey, we adopted the questionnaire from caregiver burden scale in end-of-life care to assess the burden in caregivers. Among them, 15 in-depth interviews were conducted. Descriptive analysis was done for quantitative data and thematic analysis for qualitative. So of 58 people with palliative care needs who we identified, 90% had a caregiver at home with a median caregiver age of 51.5 years. As you might expect, 4/5 of the caregivers were female and 2/5 were daughters-in-law. The median time that the caregiver had cared for was 5 years, but we found one person who had cared for almost 23 years. Nearly 70% of the caregivers, they were not aware of the formal diagnosis of the person they were caring for. And 4/5 of them reported experiencing some kind of burden in physical, emotional, and social aspect. So going through the dimensions, in the next 3 slides, I'll be sharing about the different types of burden that caregiver experience. So I have put the actual quotes of caregivers. Please read them because it gives them interesting insight into their lives. So more than half of the caregivers reported they were not comfortable with the personal care they provide. 73% of the caregivers, they reported emotional exhaustion. This was the most prominent caregiving burden. And in the part of physical burden, caregiving for someone with people with palliative care needs proved to be a hard work for many of the people we interviewed. 2/3 of the caregivers reported that the task of caring to be too physically demanding and physical exhaustion. It's interesting to read the 3 quotes from the caregiver, all of whom are above middle age. In the part of social life affected, all the caregivers, they reported that their social life was affected by caring responsibility. The 2 quotes here report an inability to leave the house overnight and their constant worry. So in the part of source of support in caregiving, almost all the caregivers, they receive some form of support, and most of the support, it came from family, sharing caring responsibility, mostly from family, friends, and neighbors, whereas financial support from community groups in the form of loans. And caregivers, they also receive some form of support from healthcare providers, mostly from female community health volunteers, whereas like home visits, follow-up were the most common support they received available. So to conclude, we have shown that caregivers of people with palliative care need do experience multiple caregiving burden, of which emotional burden is the most prominent one. Caregiving is mainly carried out by women and particularly daughters-in-law of the family. Further research is required in the future to determine the target intervention which could address different caregiver burden. To bring together people with palliative care needs and families together as a unit, I'd like to call Ms. Arati to further continue on comparative case study. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditi. We also carried a parallel qualitative study in same 18 communities using comparative methodology. The aim was to deepen further our understanding of palliative care needs in rural Nepal. In this study, we have taken people with palliative care needs, caregiver, other key informant surrounding them as a unit. In our 18 communities, we had detected a total of 58 patients with palliative care needs. Of those, 20 were proposably selected in further in-depth study. 52 semi-structured qualitative interviews were carried out within these individuals, their caregivers, and other key informants. This is a complicated diagram showcasing the multiple case formation. The 4 rectangles are of different municipalities, as I mentioned earlier, Besisar, Sundarbazar, Rainas, and Sausahari. The circle represent individual people with having a palliative care needs, and we can see there are 20 of these circles. The rectangle represent the health workers of different sorts, and color shows the connection between health workers and people with palliative care needs. All of these people were interviewed. As a part of analysis, we had developed case narratives for the cases, triangulating quantitative and qualitative data, and we again did inductive coding for all 52 interviews. Now we are in the process of doing cross-trace comparison to identify similarities and differences between those multiple cases formed. As our case study analysis revealed, key factor influencing access to health care is affected by distance to health facility, transportation, cost or family resources, location of health facility, providing the health insurance services. Health beliefs like better care are found in city hospital, reinforced by previous experience and understanding influence the health-seeking behavior of people with palliative care need. A complex interaction of first and second led to the health-seeking behavior. We also got an idea that people have a high level of unmet holistic palliative care needs. They experience concern high over social, psychological, and financial burden for their families, whereas some older patients may not express this concern. The complex interaction between 4 and 5 leads to the patient feeling a lack of control. Now, concluding both our qualitative and quantitative findings, we can conclude as high level among both patient and their caregivers. Caring is overwhelmingly undertaken by women. Proportion of population needing palliative care are not homogeneous across rural Nepal. Many patients travel long distance to city-based tertiary hospital for diagnosis and follow-up care. Services are underutilized. Cost was a significant barrier even for those with health insurance. Older people are less likely to access health care. So, concluding all this, now finally I would like to say rural model of palliative care requires a health service strengthening approach. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Arati and Adipti. Since we have a few more minutes, we can open the floor for questions if you have any questions from our participants here or from the virtual platform as well. Can we have the mic there, please?
Okay, my question is that we noticed that the majority of palliative care patients have psychological social issues. And we also realize that the caregiver feel huge burdens. So I'm asking the question, is there is any relationship between the psychosocial issues and the burden felt by the caregivers? I mean that if the caregiver feel more burdens, they did not provide proper care to their parents or maybe child. So is there is any relationships perceived by psychosocial issues and the burden of care perceived by their caregivers? And another question is that we know that the health seeking behavior is very poor. So is the availability of health facilities far or near change their health seeking behaviors or influence their health seeking behaviors?
Yes, I would like to address your second question first. Yes, the availability of facility affect the health seeking behavior as from their previous experience, when they are referred from the local community hospital, they are forced to go to the tertiary hospital and they are continuing their follow-up in tertiary hospital. But we expect them to have the follow-up in their local community hospitals. And going with the first question, yes, there is an effect between the psychological burden between care providers and the people with palliative care needs. Did I answer your question?
Was that addressed well? Are there any more questions?
And no questions from the virtual forum at the moment, but we've had some comments saying what a great presentation it was, and that's come from George in Cambridgeshire. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arati and Adipti.